2024 year-end is the 21st year of creating these end-of-year videos. Tony got another late start on this year's video. You'd think he was retired and did not have much else to do.
Starting in December of 2023, Cheryl was again complaining about how poor the lights were on her car. The lenses had yellowed yet again. This time Tony found some ceramic coat for the lenses. After some awesome cleaning with some fine sandpaper and rouge, then treatment with ceramic coat. They looked really good. Months went by without them turning yellow again until Tony just bought her a new car.
The Pinata rocket lives again. Made a perfect flight.
All the smoke. Got one of them anyway. There's a deployment.
Hope he can keep this up all year long.
All right, kids, go.
Friends of Steve and Karen invited Tony and Cheryl on a spirit walk with ugly sweaters where the women wore tree skirts.
Christmas and Cheryl wanted lights at the top of her hill. Tony rigged up some solar-powered batteries and created a charge circuit that would turn off the lights during the day while charging the batteries, and turn on the lights at night. Seems to work pretty good.
Cheryl and Chris wanted to go see the lights display at one of the local stadiums.
Tony and Cheryl attended a New Year's party at Karen and Steve's home.
January and another Pinata rocket flight. No air starts, but still a good
No
flight.
air starts. Let's hope
keep this up
there's
for
one.
the rest of the year, Tony.
And
Cheryl took her turn of shooting the hand cannon at the range. It has just a bit of kick to it.
February, and Tony and Cheryl celebrated their 37th anniversary.
Have you ever wondered how much side blast there is from a Smith & Wesson 500 revolver? Wonder no more.
March, and again, no air starts but a safe recovery. Still need work on making it safer and more fun.
Helping kids at a local middle school launch rockets.
Tony, Cheryl, and Bob go to a Queen tribute band called Killer Queen.
April had a good liftoff but bad recovery.
got at least one of the air starts.
The shock cord parted.
Yeah, I'm going to need a new booster.
How are we supposed to get cookies?
So, cookies should come out at 500 feet if everything goes right. Uh-oh, lost the booster.
Got 5
Booster's
air
coming in
starts,
hot
but for the
again.
second time in a row. The shock cord
That
failed.
was obviously yesterday.
Time for
Thanks,
new
Paul.
shock cords.
Tony and Cheryl attended a lobster fest at one of their favorite wineries.
Tony and Cheryl attended their 8th Bottle Rock in 9 years. 2020 got skipped for obvious reasons.
May and Tony made plans a year in advance to get all his brothers and sister together at once. Their father's 90th birthday seemed like a great opportunity. Right from the start, the eldest brother refused to show up. Then at the last moment, the second youngest also decided to not show. Only 3 got together.
As frequently happens, a lot of the Cooper side of the family got together for Memorial Day.
June and Tony and Cheryl took in their second concert of the year, Third Eye Blind and Yellow Card.
Vacation time and first stop are the cousins in Oklahoma. Aunt Rachel, Uncle Tommy, Cousin Brianna with boyfriend, cousins Larry and Laurie.
Cheryl caught up with Tony at a Aaron Tippin, Kentucky Headhunters, Confederate Railroad concert. Number 3 for the year.
July starts with a Lyle Lovett concert, number 4 of the year, and Tony's classmate Julie and husband Bruce joined them.
Concert number 5 with Solid Ground and Tony's cousins Mike and Karen joined in.
Concert number 6 featuring the Awful Purdies with the cousins again.
Tony went off to concert number 7, Damage Incorporated, by himself.
August, and the darndest thing happened in August. Tony's classmate Julie wanted to go on an Alaskan cruise. Not only did they all go on the cruise, but Tony's co-workers Karen and Steve joined them on the cruise. Before the cruise, the classmates did a little sightseeing in San Francisco. Of course, they simply had to visit a couple wineries. Then onto the ship Sapphire Princess. While cruising, they took a few excursions. A little fishing where Cheryl caught the only salmon, but it was too small to keep and they did not have a fishing license for that specific type of salmon. Bruce caught the second fish, but no license for halibut, and it too was too small. Then Tony managed to catch a tiny flounder. Again, no license and too small. A whole lot of sightseeing including glaciers and wilderness. Eventually Tony and Cheryl caught up with cousins Randy and Heidi who live in Alaska.
Upon returning to California, when going to concert number 8, Steve Miller, Journey, and Def Leppard, Tony and Cheryl happened to meet up with Steve and Karen again.
September, and as with most years, Labor Day was celebrated at the Chamberlains' home.
Tony and Cheryl went to concert number 9, Funeral Portrait, Slaughter, Marilyn Manson, and Five Finger Death Punch.
A week later, they went to their 10th concert of Train and REO Speedwagon.
Next day, and concert number 11, the Doobie Brothers with Bob.
Chris attended a Dogs and Deputies event where Chris showed off their dog grooming skills.
Concert number 12, and seeing Lynyrd Skynyrd and ZZ Top.
One of Tony's Internet Navy friends made a comment about becoming a docent on the museum CVS-12 USS Hornet in Alameda, California. Tony decided that was something he could do, go back to work in an aircraft carrier again. So nearly 35 years after he walked off his Navy ship for the last time, he walked back on the same pier to serve another carrier. Kevin thought he might catch his daddy breakdown crying, so Kevin planned a tour before going to work on the carrier. He didn't break into tears until the morning he drove up to start working.
October, and after having such a good time with Tony's siblings at their father's birthday, they all went to Tony and Cheryl's 13th concert for the year, Aftershock.
Liking wine, Tony and Cheryl attended a crush party with unlimited wine flowing.
After the party, Tony and Cheryl went away for a week for Cheryl's birthday and retirement celebration. Yes, Cheryl retired too. They both have new phones with crazy astrophotography modes that take awesome nighttime photos. Tony was able to photograph the Andromeda Galaxy and Comet Tuchinchen Atlas. They also did a lot of sightseeing in the Point Arena area.
Chris demonstrated their Mad Dog grooming skills by making Bonnie's skeletal makeover.
Halloween was a very chilly night, but Tony managed to hand out 11 beers and 9 pounds of candy during the night.
November, and for Veterans Day, Tony got his old Cracker Jacks on and entertained the tourist on the USS Hornet. A few other docents were able to get into costume too.
Randy and Larry from Alaska and New Mexico arrived in the state for a visit at their mommy's house.
That is the end of the 2024 update. Now on to the Wayback Machine.
Time for the time machine, and go back 20 years ago. We first see Tony introducing Kevin and Chris to guns. Who knew where that little choice was going to leave Kevin? The family took their first snow trip. Kevin and Chris tried their hand at snowboarding while Tony and Cheryl took skiing lessons. Peggy, Bob, and Phyllis also went on the trip. They rented a large house and had a cozy time there. Tony got his jaw split into 5 pieces to move it out a couple millimeters. 20 years later, and he is sure that he should not have had it done. Braces were enough to correct his overbite situation. He frequently accidentally inflicts a severe bite on his lip due to the way his teeth now meet. Tony found his sister Mary Jane, and it happened to be near their father's 70th birthday. She flew to California along with brother Joe for a surprise party. 4 of the 5 siblings were able to celebrate the birthday. Who would have known that this would be the most siblings together at once? Here is the whole family together. The Cooper family did manage to go on a Hawaiian vacation in 2004. Cooper family spent a day at the beach. Kids got very dirty. Kevin was too old for Santa, but Chris did not mind getting on Kris Kringle's lap. Chris and Kevin's school pictures for 2004.
Now to throw the Wayback Machine into full reverse to 1974, 50 years ago when Tony and Cheryl were just 11 years old. Cheryl was playing the violin next to the crackling fire. Cheryl and her brothers making requests of Santa. Tony with brother Joe and cousin Chris. Cheryl with her family. That brings us to the end of the 2024 episode of the Year in Review.